I'm sorry. What on earth is going on with this team right now? What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and this is this week has been absolutely wonderful as a Tennessee Titans fan. Let me tell you that right now. Holy cow, we just absolutely destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals. I have no clue how this even happened, but I sure as heck ain't complaining. And I'll tell you that much right now. But golly, this team is confusing. Like, first week, we look, our defense looks great, but everything else, but our offense looks awful against the Saints. Then we go into week 2, and we look pretty good against the Chargers, actually. Then we go into week 3, look like we may end up being in the Caleb Williams race, and that the Chargers was just a fluke. And then this week, like, what's going on? Like, I hope that this doesn't grow into a pattern, because if it does, then we would be, I believe, 9-8 or 8-9, and barely missing out on a wild card spot, and not good enough to and we would not be good enough to get a good pick, but we also wouldn't be good enough to be a playoff contender. That's a problem. But anyway, so let's go on with the rest of this episode. And first off, we got to do the infamous segment. That 3-minute segment where I just talk about something else, usually the Vols. Like, I sometimes, like, in the off season, I used to talk about other things, but anyway, the Vols. So, this weekend was just amazing as a Tennessee fan overall. This was our revenge weekend, honestly. And, dude, the Vols, like, they look pretty good. Like, they look sharp. I mean, trust me, Spencer Rattler still played better than Joe Milton, but Joe Milton looked a little better. He may have thrown those two iffy picks, but apart from that, he looked better than he did, like, against, like, an Austin P or a Florida. Like, he looks more comfortable. And the offensive coordinator seems like that he's starting to, pick up on play calls a little bit, on how to call plays a little bit more. But anyway, so defense showed out. Like, I know that offensive line is really bad and that we should have dominated them. But, like, dude, I was really worried that this was going to be like what the Bengals were last year. Like, we were supposed to get our revenge, but our team isn't good enough to do that just yet. So we end up still losing. But we made our revenge. Sure, we came back and we absolutely killed South Carolina, and I could not be more happy about it. We have the potential of, like, a top 10 team, but, like, we just haven't used it completely. That's just the truth. Like, Joe Milton is kind of holding us back, I'll be honest. Like, I feel like that if we had a fully developed Nico or even Hendon from last year, we would be like, dude, we would be a playoff contender. And I do not mean that lightly. But anyway, so Squirrel White finally had that game that we were all expecting him to have at some point, where, he looks like he's the next Jalen Hyatt. And yeah, he balled out. He had nine targets, and I believe it was about that many receptions, 9, 8, maybe 7, for 109 yards. He didn't have the touchdown though, which surprised. I don't think they had the touchdown, at least. Anyway, don't quote me on that. Fact check it if you can. But yeah, beautiful weekend for the Vols. Beautiful weekend for the Titans. This weekend was just kind of amazing, honestly. I got to go to a high school football game this weekend. We ended up losing. which, yes, that is unfortunate. But, dude, that environment was amazing. Like, it was an away game. It was a small town. Like, and they had a little pirate ship too. Like, it was honestly kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, overall great weekend to be a Tennessee fan, but now we are getting into the vault into the not the Vols, the Titans content. So if you did stick around, uh thank you for listening to me talk about the Vols, but if you didn't, we're getting into we're getting into the talk of the Titans right now. Anyway, so we beat the Bengals. We absolutely crushed the Bengals. And dude, what is going on? I have no clue what to think of this team. I can't come up here and surely tell you that we are a top 10 team after that, but I can't come up here and surely tell you, man, we're we are just not good. Like, I can't tell you like what side of the fence we're on. Like, we look like a really awesome team 2 weeks against two really good teams. Their records may not show, but they have good quarterbacks. And there are other weeks where we just look like we're tanking for Caleb Williams. Like, it's so confusing. I have no clue what's going on. Like, I felt like that, by week about 5 now, I would give you like a sure response of like, oh yeah, we're a good team, we're a bad team. But like, so far we just looked like an inconsistent team. That's all there is to it. Now, I'm hoping we can go in and whoop up on the Colts. That would be amazing. Especially because, it's a rookie quarterback. And if you look at the Titans' resume against rookie quarterbacks, we usually cook them. Like, even T-Law, who went on to, you know, cook us in the last two games they played against us, like, even then in his sorry, I blanked. His rookie season, he played awful against us. Like, he threw, I believe that if he didn't play the Titans, his touchdown to interception ratio would be even, and it was 12-18. So we accounted for 6 of his interceptions with a mediocre defensive backfield. Like, come on, you just can't make that up. Like, okay, so yeah, I golly, I just don't know what's going on right now with the Tennessee Titans. Like, it's so confusing. Like, I know I am repeating myself. I want to say that they're great, but I also want to say that they're not good. I don't know, man. But let's look at some of the positives of that game. First off, Derrick Henry looked like old Derrick Henry. That was a vintage performance, if we're being completely honest. Um, Tannehill was pretty solid. You're gonna see that one interception on his account. It really did not matter. Like, he was just slinging it just to sling it because we were up 27-3 at that time. Like, come on now, man. Like, don't don't be upset at him for that pick, honestly. Anyway, defense was lights out. Christian Fulton finally coming back into form. The defensive line looks great. Uh yeah, everything just looks a lot better. Um this will be a real test of the background noise remover on the site that I use, and as you can tell by the color marking, it's Riverside. But it'll be a real test to see if it's blocking out what's going on in my house right now. There are a bunch of hammers going down right now, so if y'all hear them, whatever. If y'all don't hear them, that's great. Then the remove background noise setting works amazingly. Anyway, so sorry for going off course there for a second. Um, if I would say one negative thing, Treylon Burks' stock. Like, dude, we just crushed the Bengals and have looked the most potent on offense that we have, except for the Bengals game. No, sorry, except for the Chargers game, without Treylon Burks. That feels weird. Okay, so also, I want to say this. If y'all are watching right now, then you probably saw this post on like Monday, I think was the day. Like, no, yeah, you saw it on the morning that I am recording right now. I'm sorry. We absolutely crushed the Cincinnati Bengals. We play incredibly well. We beat them like a drum. And what they want to talk about is how the Cincinnati Bengals as an organization are going downhill. They don't want to talk about how good the Titans play. They don't want to talk about our ferocious D line. They don't want to talk about Derrick Henry, who is someone that they like to talk about. They don't want to talk about how he's, how he looked like old Derrick Henry, like 2019 and 2020 Derrick Henry. They don't even want to talk. They don't even want to talk about how. They don't even want to make up some bizarre storyline about how Will Levis encouraged Tannehill or something. No, like I know Will Levis, but it's the only thing that they talk about when they're talking about the Titans. Like, for goodness sakes, man. We crushed the Bengals, and you still can't give us our credit. Like, what is that about? Like, do they have does ESPN have something against us? Like, what did we do to get all this disrespect? I don't understand. Like, I get the Browns loss probably was a cause for disrespect, but even then they didn't talk about how bad we played. So, I mean, there are positives of not being talked about by ESPN, but like, man, it still really upsets me. Like, I do just want to be talked about. I just want to be given credit whenever we actually win a football game. That would be nice, you know. Just saying, just saying. Um, excuse me, excuse me. Holy cow! I don't know where that came from. Um, so, um, yeah, Titans played one of the best games that I've seen them play since 2021. That was the last time I saw them play that great of a game. Like, it could have been that Colts game from a year back, but specifically the Colts game that we played away whenever the Colts were 1-1-1. You remember that? That was weird. Where we could have where we could have absolutely crushed them, but for some reason we let it become a competitive game, which was a cause for concern. It ended up coming to bite us in the butt further down the line. Whenever we were up big on the Jags, and then they bounced, and then they came back on us. But anyway, so the best thing about this is that Skronsky's going to be back soon. Like, dude, our offensive line looked passable against the Bengals. Now let's see if we can do that. Now imagine what it's going to be like whenever Skronsky gets back. I'm not even too sure where we're going to put him because Dylan Rainden's played pretty solid. Like, I'd assume we put him back at his old college position at left tackle and replace Andre Dillard, but even then, that doesn't seem like a great idea. Like, I know Andre Dillard's not good, but like, but Skronsky is a little tiny, you know, at least for left tackle standards. Like, if I ended up meeting him, he'd probably make me look like I was a 5-year-old child. But you know, anyway, so great win for the Titans, and I love Tim Kelly so much. Like, dude, he has been amazing. Like, he knows how to make he knows how to draw up deep plays better than Downing ever did. That's just the truth. Like, cuz like I know that people will talk about how he had big plays in his first year as OC, but his first year as OC we had AJ Brown. Like, AJ Brown can make any offensive coordinator look competent. Like, dude, like this dude was able to draw up all these plays with D Hop and a bunch of other dudes. Like, what? If you would have told me that this receiver core looked like this without Traylon Burks, I would have laughed in your face and I would have called you crazy. But apparently not. Like, we were like, I know that Cincinnati doesn't have like the most amazing secondary in the world, but we were burning them. Like, holy cow! Like, it was a weird thing to watch. Like, dude, I actually have optimism, but then there's also a side of me that's like, yeah, they did this to me week 2, and then we got absolutely boat raced by the Browns. Please, just beat the Colts. That's all I want. I just want y'all to beat the Colts, please. So it's getting to be about that time in the episode where I talk who about next week's matchup, which is, like I've said multiple times in this episode, the Colts. Okay, so rookie quarterback, he's looked pretty solid. Don't get me wrong. Anthony Richardson, whenever he's played, has looked like he's going to probably be the future in Indianapolis. And I am really scared for next year. Like, us versus him. Like, I am, don't get me wrong, I am worried about that. Very, very worried. But, like, dude, like, for now, like, Anthony Richardson, rookie quarterback, like I said earlier, our resume against rookie quarterbacks is pretty strong. So I think we could pull out the win, but the last time I said that, I said that with confidence that we were going to boat race the Browns, which did not end up happening. We got boat raced by the Browns. We did not boat race the Browns. But like, dude, there's just something about like after that week, like I feel like that we're going to be back on track. Like, genuinely. We crushed a team that we've had a mental barrier against over the past few years. And dude, like, like I wanted to cry after that Bengals game. Not gonna lie, like my post game reaction may say completely otherwise, but like, dude, like, man, like I didn't think that we were gonna beat the Bengals unless we like completely did a complete 180 in the offense, which we kind of did, but like at the same time, we like we still stuck to the roots. Like, again, Tim Kelly is kind of a guru. Like, he's not going to get talked about in the grand scheme of the media, but like, honestly, like if teams are looking out for someone that could end up being a head coach, like Tim Kelly's has been amazing. Like, that may just be me speaking because Todd Downing was just so bad, and maybe having just a serviceable offensive coordinator just feels amazing. But I don't know, man. Like, anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, right, the Colts. So they also have a rookie head coach who those guys also usually. I mean, I think Robert Saleh has been the only rookie head coach to really beat Vrabel. So, and he was a defensive mind. So, like, I I'm pretty confident about the Colts game. But again, last time I got confident, we got boat raced by the Browns. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen next week. I like, but I am really excited to uh to see what this Titans team does. If we can just do that, like maybe not every other week, but like 2 weeks to one, we will be a playoff team because that would be. So we have 2 wins right now. Okay, so we go on. So So we beat the Colts, lose to the Ravens, beat the next two teams on our schedule. So we already have 2 wins as it is. We beat the Colts, lose to the Ravens. We beat the next two teams. We lose to one of those teams. We beat the next two teams. We lose to one of those teams. Yeah, we're a playoff team if we do that. Sorry, I blanked out. I had to do some math. Like, but like, dude, like, is it am I too confident saying that we're back? Because, like, I mean, like, this is a team that we have struggled with for a long time and that we always lose to. Even whenever they were bad, we lost to this team. But, like, dude, like, that's going to be the question of the day. The question of the day is, are the Tennessee Titans back? Let me know that in the comment section down below. Are we back, or are we just a very crappy team that just is not going to go anywhere after, or that's just not going to go anywhere now? But, like, dude, like, that was just okay. So that was just a wild game. Hopefully we are back, but I don't know, man. Anyway, so I think that's going to do it for today's episode. So I have Instagram, Twitter, and for the people that are listening over podcasting, I have a YouTube account. All of my handles are the Titans Rundown. I also have TikTok too. That page doesn't usually get that much steam, but like I have all these. I'll put the links down in the description for YouTube watchers and for podcast listeners. But and also for anyone that's on YouTube, this whole thing has just been a complete grind that I did not expect to be as hard as it was. So if y'all could, subscribe, hit a like button, and comment below and answer the question I asked you at the end of the episode, that would be absolutely wonderful. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I love y'all. Tighten up.